This podcast shares Audrey's story. Audrey was a participant in a research project about the experiences of social exclusion and inclusion among people aging with neurodiversity and their families. Our project documented the stories of people aging with neurodiversity 45 years of age and older and their family caregivers about their lives, their experiences of growing older, their strengths, hopes, and dreams, their housing realities, needs, and wishes, their experiences with health and social services, and their social networks and supports. The objectives of the project were to foreground the voices of older people living with neurodiversity and their family caregivers, an advocate for more inclusive programs and policies that better address the realities of challenges facing an agency enacted by neurodiverse older people and their family caregivers. Thank you to Audrey for sharing your story with us. Audrey is a 56-year-old woman born in France. When she was 1 year old, her family immigrated to Quebec. She lived in the West Island of Montreal, where she completed her studies in adapted classes and has made friendships that have persisted over time. Audrey has lived a life of successes, challenges, and transitions. She has experienced multiple and sometimes complex disabilities, some of which are congenital and others which appear in adolescence.
I have vision and hearing lost. I have other problem. Those is not too bad. It doesn't prevent me for working, from doing things in my vision, my hearing lost, then I can have a job. You don't have anything.
As an adult, as her hearing continued to deteriorate, she agreed over time to wear a device for the first time, and she heard the sounds of nature for the first time. It was a defining moment for her.
I could really hear the ocean. It was the first time I really hear the wind and the tree.
Audrey also experienced changes in her environment at different times in her life, notably living with other people, roommates, and parents, in a semi supervised apartment, in a group home, and living alone. She considers that living alone and being independent is the most satisfying situation because she can make her own decisions on a daily basis.
You can do whatever you want. You could sleep in the front of the TV. Nobody's gonna say anything. To be at your own apartment, that's freedom.
Over the years, Audrey has experienced diverse social relationships within and outside school and social and professional environments, from formal and informal networks. Throughout the interviews, she described the difficulties she faced during her schooling, as she was often bullied at school and constantly reminded that she was different.
Yeah, it was tough, that's for sure. You're there, you're different, you try to fit in. And some kids make your life harder than it's supposed to be. It's not obvious. They are children, they are in school, they don't need to be disabled to be punching bag.
Despite the denigration she suffered from her peers, Audrey showed empathy towards them.
I don't know what those people had. Maybe they have a different life afterward. I think maybe those people who hurt others when they were young, maybe after that, maybe the children were different. We don't know anyone's future.
Audrey also participated in different professional and recreational activities and talked about places where she felt excluded due to her disability and others where she felt a sense of belonging.
Yeah, it was very funny. It's a place where I really, really like. I was comfortable. I felt like I belonged there. I have reduced mobility, but differently. I feel good in this environment. We make friends. Also, we learn things about them that you can't imagine.
Audrey said that what is most important to her is that her daily activities, whether professional or recreational, provide her with meaning and fulfillment.
For me, it's keeping myself busy, not really with work, but keeping busy, especially having fun in what I do, even if it's just activity to get me out of my house. I have other things to talk about other than only my home.
Audrey benefited from the support of many workers from government and community organizations. Audrey spoke about a community organization where she has been a client since the age of 18.
It's like my second family.
But for Audrey, the frequent change of workers in the system is experienced as a significant loss.
What happened is that when you have a worker, you get attached. You talk to them, you trust them. When there's a change, you lose a friend. You still talk to them. You no longer see it as a friendship. I lost a lot of them that I was close to. Some they invited me to go to her house. I met the children. It hurts. It's like if you're losing a friend. It's simple.
Despite her independent nature, she recognizes the importance of the support she receives to achieve her goals.
It's helped me to have a fulfilling life.
Audrey's friendships are very important to her, and the loss of her friend, when she was 59 years of age, was also a difficult reminder of her own aging. She tries not to think about aging, but seeing her parents grow old reminds her that she's getting older too.
Well, my parents getting older. We tried not to think about it. Of course, I see the hair getting white. I tried not to think about that. Otherwise, if you start thinking about them like they're gonna leave, it's gonna be sad. Of course, they're getting old. You're getting old too.
Despite some of her difficult experiences, Audrey considers that these moments have shaped who she is and that ultimately,
Life is fun.
in her 30s, despite the announcement of new physical health conditions, Audrey learned to manage in order to remain active. In particular, she is involved in the users committee of her health establishment in order to defend rights and propose changes to improve services for people with neurodiversity. Audrey affirmed,
Yes, I think they should look at us like, well, I don't like that word, but like normal people. Don't use big words so we don't understand. So I will say that to the people who's going to take care of us. It's a great effort on their part. For us too, it will be easier for us to explain, to feel understood.
through her involvement in various community organizations, she discovered many passions, including painting, and forged meaningful relationships with peers. It is at 50 years old that Audrey lived one of the most beautiful moments of her life. She became a Canadian citizen.
Yes, it was a big step. I have been here long time. I was almost born here. For me, it was home. I think it helped me a lot. I was at home. I went to school here. Spoke the language of Quebec. Also in Canada, which is English. Look there. It's my home. It's just to have it on paper. I couldn't have done at 18. I was like, oh no, oh no. I want to keep my French nationality. I didn't have the same ambition because I was young and I was from Quebec. After that, as you get older, you realize that many things change.
Audrey learned and developed wisdom through the friendly relationships she maintains with people older than herself. During the last meeting, Audrey announced to us that she had just moved to a new apartment in a social housing unit. For her, it's a dream come true. She will finally be able to be independent in a larger apartment in which it will be possible to grow old comfortably and prepare for retirement. Despite her apprehensions about aging, she maintains a peaceful and positive attitude about what the future holds for her.